Hi guys, welcome you back to another tutorial. On today's video, I'll show you how to create a pattern for a princess dart bustier. Please stay to the end of this video as I take you through this process. I'm breaking it down in a very easy way so that you can understand it better, okay? First thing I will do is to take my page measurements, having this as the startup line. I will first of all take my length to my chest line, length to chest line, which is going to be 8.5, the length to breast point line, which is going to be 10.5. Then from the starter point to the under bust line, which is 13.5, and the waist measurement, I'm making use of 16 inches with my extra allowances. So I'll just repeat the same process here so that I can get a perfect straight line. From here to my chest line, 8.5, breast point 10.5, under bust 13.5, and the waist measurement of 16 plus my extra allowance. So I'm going to convert all this to a straight line. So at this point, I would like to label this as well. I'll call this the chest line. This is the breast point line, the under bust, the waist, and the allowance here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now is to take my shoulder measurement using the 8 by 3 inches measurement. I'll mark out 8 inches here and also 3 inches. At this point, I'll take 1 inch for the shoulder slope and I'll connect it to my 3 inches point. Having in mind that the shoulder measurement is 14 divided by 2, that's 7. I add 0.5 inches of allowance, that's 7.5. I'm going to mark out this 7.5 all the way to the chest line. This is going to give me an angle 90 degrees to form my front armhole. So at this point, from this point here, I will take it all the way to the chest line so that I can get the midpoint. And what I have here is approximately 8. So I'll get the midpoint of 4. I'll go inwards by half of an inch. Then I'll take this all the way so that I can get my front armhole. Please, at this point, use your armhole curve if you do. I'm just carefully doing this with a free hand. Okay, so here I already have my front armhole. Then I'm going to come to this point again and get the curve what I have here. But before that, I will impute my bust measurement I'm working with, which is 34 inches. If I divide it by 4, I have 8.5 inches here. Okay, so I'm going to take what I have on this curve here, and what I have here is 8.5. Then I will get the midpoint of 8.5, and that is going to give me 4.25. So I will come here and measure 4.25 and take note of it as the midpoint of my armhole line. Before that, so I'll come down to this point. I'll make use of my bust span measurement, which is 7. If I divide it by 2, that's 3.5, and I'll add 0.5 inches to it, making it 4. So I'll come to my bust point line and I'll mark out the 4 inches. Then I'll come to my under bust. I'll take away 0.5 inches from what I have, so which will be what, 3.5, right? So I'll come to my under bust and mark 3.5. I'm also going to extend this straight down, 3.5 on the waistline and on the length of the top. Okay, so I'm going to get a straight line from here and I'll connect this to my bust point line. From this bust point line, I'm going to connect this to the midpoint of my armhole. So in doing this, it has given me my princess dart pattern. Okay, so here it is. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to create my cup, my breast cup. Okay, yes. So coming down to this under bust line, I'm going to impute 1.5 inches. For a bust of 34, I can use 1.5. For a bigger bust of say 36 to 40, 42, I can use 2 inches and thereabout. So here I'm going to mark out 1.5 inches at the under bust. I will extend the same thing to the waistline, 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. So I'll connect the lines together. Then I'll come to my bust point line. I'm going to go up and down by 1 inches. So from this bust point line, I will move up by 1 inch. I'll take note of that, and also move down by 1 inch. I'll take note of that. So you can see these 2 points, 1 inch above the bust point, 1 inch below the bust point. At this 1 inch below the bust point, I'm going to connect it to this my under bust line here, okay, to give me my lower cup. So I'll just gently take this. So you can see I'm carefully connecting this now. This has given me what? My lower cup, okay? Then I will come to this midpoint of the armhole here. I'm going to take what I have here, which is 1.5, and I will minus 0.5 inches from it. It will now remain 1, right? I will impute that 1 inches mark here. But I'll have to distribute it as well on both sides. So 1 inch is, I'm going to fix in 0.5 inch on one side of this midpoint line and 0.5 inches on the other part, okay? So what I'm going to do now, 0.5 inches here and 0.5 inches here. So what I'm going to do now is to connect it all to this 1 inches above the bust point line. I hope you understand that. So I'll just take this from this point and from here, so you can see this. So the next thing I'll do now is to take this point here that is going towards this armhole cup. I'm going to extend this to 1.5 inches or 2 inches. I'll just do 1.5 inches. So I'll extend the lines. So here it is. So you can see we have created our princess dart here. It's as simple as it is. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fix the neckline of my choice, okay? Say from here the neck width is 4 inches and the neck depth, say I do 5 inches. So for here, you can fix the next neckline of your choice actually, okay? Yes. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to impute all my measurements. So I'll come to this chest line. We've already marked out our bust measurement here. So what I'm going to do is to add the extra allowances that I need. You can actually ignore this and add it when you are drafting it on your pattern paper, but I will usually like to do this, okay? And it's also important to take note of every point or allowances you are adding, okay, so that when you have this and you want to transfer it to a fabric or you want to cut out some other piece using the same pattern, you already know the measurement you have, if you need to increase it or you need to reduce. I hope you understand that. So here I have my bust measurements here. I'm just going to add this extra allowance I have here for this dart, which is 1 inch. I'm going to add it up. Then I'll also add my extra allowance of 2 inch as well. Then I'll come to the under bust line, which is 28. If I divide it by 4, what I have is 7. I need to put in this 1.5 inch of that. I'll put in it back here. So I'll add 1.5 inch and of course add my extra 2 inches of allowance. Then also I'll just extend this to the waistline. Guys, believe this or not, we're done. It's as simple as it is. Okay, so that's it, guys. The next thing now is just to cut this all out. It's quite straightforward. So but before I do that, I also like to cut out for the back piece. So all I'm going to do is just to extend this my lines forward. So from here is my starting point now. First of all, mark my zipper allowance of 1.5 inch. So you can see here represents my zip allowance. So what I'm going to do now is also to put in my shoulder slope measurement, the 8 by 3 inches mark. Don't forget, every measurement is starting from this zipper line. One inch for shoulder slope. Then the shoulder of 14 divided by 27 plus 0.5 inches, that's 7.5. Taking it all the way to the chest line. So from this point, I'm going to get my back armhole. But before that, I get the midpoint, approximately 8. I'll get the midpoint here. Then I'll just take it to give me my back armhole here. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to also create my princess dart box. So what I'm going to do, having in mind that here is the chest line, you might want to label this as well. This is the bust point, the under bust, the waist, and here is the allowance. Don't forget, this part is discarded. So I'm going to come to my bust point line and impute my bust point measurement, which is 4. Remember, it was 7 divided by 2, 3.5 plus 0.5 inches of allowance, making it 4. So at this bust point line, I'm marking out 4 inches. At the under bust, I will go down by 0.5. That's 3.5 here, and I'm taking this straight down to the waist and to the end of the top. Collect the straight lines here. Connect this to my bust point here. Then coming to here, at this chest line, I will impute my bust measurement, which is 34 divided by 4, that's 8.5 here. And I will get the midpoint as well. Just like we did for the front piece, I have 8.5, so the midpoint is about here, 4.25. Okay, so I'm going to connect this point now over here. Connect it from here this way. And that's it, guys. It's as simple as that. So what I'll do, we are good to go. I can just move up 0.5 inches from what I have here. I'll move up by 0.5 inches and I'll connect it to the bust point line as well. So this is going to be my princess dart. So from here, I'll just extend it just like we did for this front piece. I'm going to extend here to 1.5 inches. So I'll just move up by 1.5 inch. So I'm just moving up by 1.5 inch. That's it. So I'll come now, where I have here is already my bust measurement. I'll just add my extra allowance here. Of here I have 1.5 inch. Then I'll come to the under bust. I'll put in my bust measurement, the waist measurement of 7.5, and I'll add extra 2 inches of allowance to it. So I'll just extend this to the floor line. Remember, there is no dart here, so there's no need of putting any other extra allowance aside what we have. So here it is. You can see this is quite straightforward. So I'll just take this now and connect it to my armhole. It's as simple as that. So I'm supposed to repeat the same process to what I have here on the front piece. I'll also take it from here and connect it to my armhole. I'll mark out 4 inches. I can do the neck depth of 3 inches. You can do any neckline of your choice. So you can see this. It's as simple as it is. So the only thing left now is just to cut all this out. So here it is, guys, on how to create this pattern. This is the front piece and the back piece as well. This is quite easy and straightforward. Okay, so guys, that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this video has been helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate it a lot. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do that as well. Thank you so much again and again. Till I see you on the next video. Have a beautiful day.